While our Q&A guests make their way to the stage, I just wanted to acknowledge the first film you saw, Summer, which was choreographed by Robin Deckers and commissioned by Inner Child, directed by Buka Rashid, who I think they're all in the house, so congratulations on that. I'd like to introduce our moderator, Katja Björner, who herself is a star of a coming-of-age ballet documentary, 1994's The Dancer, which we'll hear more about, and also competed in the Helsinki International Ballet Competition in 1995 and won the silver medal. So, without further ado, Katja Björner.
So, wow. Thank you for this beautiful documentary. Lisa Le Lievre, director of the movie. Carmela Mayo, soloist of SF Ballet. Alexis Francisco Valdes, dancer with SF Ballet. And Tiit Helimets, former principal dancer with SF Ballet, also producer of Closer Than Yesterday. And he is the men's director of the men's program at the Bayer Ballet Academy, as well as on the faculty there. So, and I also want to acknowledge two people in the audience that are instrumental to this movie. That is Esteban Cuadrado, sitting over there. And Miles Thatcher, the choreographer of the piece in the second round. There he is over there. Big shout out to both. Thank you. So, wow. Thank you. And I find myself very moved by this documentary. It really, as a former ballerina, professional ballerina myself, I must say, I'm grateful to see our craft portrayed through such an honest lens, because this is our life. And not only does this movie so thrillingly, with all the different twists and turns, portray the journey you all took to make the Helsinki Ballet Competition happen, but also it really speaks to what we do every day to make every performance happen. This is what it takes, and it really is fueled by passion, perseverance, rising to any obstacle that may cross our path, the nerves, dealing with the pressure, and just stepping out on that stage. And it looks so easy to the audience, yet we know often so little of what work went into what we just saw. So through this film, that's just a huge takeaway of mine, that I just feel that this is such an important movie to have been made. So thank you, Lisa. And I'm curious to how the seed of it coming into creation happened. I know Tiit had the inspiration to do the Helsinki Ballet International Ballet Competition in 2020, and then the pandemic hit, so that was canceled, and then it reappeared. But Lisa, how did you step into the scene? How did the thought of actually documenting this journey with the film happen?
Well, actually, Tiit came and approached me and said, would you like to make a documentary if he takes a couple of dancers to Helsinki competition? And originally, it was Esteban. And then COVID happened. And of course, everything was put on hold for 2 years. And then I think Tiit contacted me at the end of March or the beginning of April 2022, like less than 2 months before the competition, and we just jumped in and started filming. So this part was very sudden.
Beautiful. And Carmela, I'm curious, how are you feeling right now? It can be a lot to see oneself on the big screen when it truly is you. you're not hiding behind a role or acting any part. This is you and your journey. And that can be quite vulnerable. I'm just curious how you're feeling in this moment as you've just seen this film on the big screen.
Right now, I feel happy to share it because it was an important time in my life, and I feel like I gained a lot of experience from it. So it feels special to share it, and obviously it's a little weird watching myself like that. But I think it just reminds me how hard I worked in that period of my life and where it got me and where it will continue to get me. And I feel lucky for the whole experience.
I find it moving that you had the courage to take on this big goal as you were coming out of a surgery. That is a most difficult time for any dancer, to be injured and then to need to have surgery and then to not know at that point how you're going to come back to the level you were, and at that moment also commit to doing this. Can you speak to, did you feel that you needed this extra goal above and beyond what the company was offering you at that time to come back, so to speak?
Yeah, I think once I was cleared to start dancing and everything again, it wasn't really a question to me. Like, should I take this opportunity or not? It was like any opportunity that was thrown at me was an automatic yes. It was like, this is perfect. I was in the right place at the right time, where the competition was my way of coming back stronger than ever. And my physical therapist, Kendall, and everyone were like, this is perfect. This is what you need. Because who knows what would have happened if I didn't do the competition. I think it would have probably taken a bit longer for me to reach my top strength. But with the competition, with Tiit coaching me every day, it was, honestly, I don't know if I'll get an experience like that ever again. It was so hands-on, so personal, and really special. So I think the coming out of surgery, yes, it was never a question for me to say yes or no. It was like, this is perfect.
Thank you. And Alexis, I love your spirit and your energy that you brought.
Oh, and he has a birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday. Five days before flying across the world, learning new choreography, getting a visa, going down to Los Angeles. And this was after a full, long day of work. You drove down that night, coming back, jumping on a plane. Wow. And you say, we're doing this. How did you must have had your moments where you just felt, what did you feel? I mean, beyond what we saw on the screen now.
Well, if I'm being honest, the whole time I was freaking out. But again, I saw the team, I look at the team, I knew Tiit from the company, I knew Carmela, so it's like, the moment I saw them, it's like, oh yes, this is like people I want to work with, and I met Lisa, and it was like even better. But throughout the whole process, I was just freaking out the whole time. I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I would question myself, but at the same time, I would look at Carmela, and she was already like working so hard, and like after what she'd been through, I would like tell myself, oh no, just pretend everything is fine. Like, we're just having fun, But because if I did show how I feel inside, I feel like the movie would have been another way around. But no. It's just like, just breathe. Like, this is fun. You're an artist. Like, this is what you live for. So, yes, I was freaking out, but I was definitely having fun for sure. Like, no doubt. Yeah.
Well, what really shines through the lens is the relationship you have together as dancers and the love. And I love in the movie when both Tiit and Alexis are just speaking like, oh, they care so much about you, Carmela, and this being a successful journey for you in whatever that means, not the external validation always, right? It's the process and your own growth. So thank you. That's really touching, and I think that speaks to our craft as well, because, well, I can say, as you know, having left this career now behind me, what I do take with me and that I still cherish so deeply are these bonds that are forged through the fire, because we go through the fire together, and that is what remains, and that is what this film portrays so beautifully in all its different dynamics. So Tiit, you stand out to me so beautifully in your role as a coach. I mean, I've seen you perform, and you're an amazing principal dancer, and it just comes to mind, I'd love to hear you speak to what the role of the coach means to you after the long career you've had performing yourself, and you so beautifully balance in the studio the highest professional level coaching, at the same time you're so nurturing, and how you speak to them in the moment spontaneously when there's disappointment or when there's success or thrill or emotions. It's just comes from a place of love, and I'd love to hear you speak about the value, why this journey of coaching is so special to you at now.
Well, first of all, I know what it feels like to be in a company when you first leave your ballet school. And I had kind of a tough time myself in Estonia when I first joined as a soloist, and I was pushed into a lot of principal roles very early on. And I felt kind of lonely. I didn't know where to go and where to get advice from. So I had this really wonderful principal dancer who just mentored me all the way through this, is saying, you know, you do this, you don't go there, do this, and, you know, learn all your things. And so I carried this all the way through my career. So I was every new year you will get a new crop of dancers, all the dancers are coming in. And having worked with Carmela before when she was a trainee, I just chose to, you know, go up to the young dancers, introduce themselves. If you have anything, any questions, anything, just let me know. I can help you out. You have difficulties with lifts or steps, just let me know. Because I know how valuable it is, and especially when it comes from the top. You know, a principal dancer acknowledges you and walks up to you and wants to help you out. That's a welcoming feeling. And so I just carried it with me all the way through my career, and just to be advocate for the youth and make sure that they have good experiences, because this career is so short. And really just watching out and just making sure that you dance your best and mentally are in your best place too.
Thank you. Curious, did you do any ballet competitions, Tiit, when you were young?
I did. Yes, I did Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah. I think this film really also opens up to discussion of what success is or not. You know, I think the ending of the film is so special. How you face the disappointment after all this work, and how, in my eyes, you are a winner because you did all this work. And I'd like to hear what you feel you took now. There's been some time since it, like, what did you bring with, what was the value of this whole experience of actually doing a competition, doing all this work for a competition?
I mean, I feel like I've taken so much from it, I felt like a winner too, even though they were telling us we didn't. It was like every single experience that we had, every bump in the road made us stronger and made us better dancers, better people. I feel like I take challenges with more ease and take a step back now. And I'm like, okay, how big of a problem is this? Can I fix it? What are the solutions? I feel much more ready to take on anything now. And in a company, you have to be ready for anything. Any moment somebody gets injured, you step in, you have to be ready for anything. And that's what this film was, even though it was a competition. It's real life. Like, this is basically what every day of our life looks like to this day, today.
Yeah, it was an experience, as you just watched, but the whole thing, like, that's also why I say yes to it, because I knew it was going to be a challenge, because it was like only 5 days to learn 3 choreographies, and I was like, okay, that's hard, but I'm going to push myself and like test my limits. And I think with the help of Tiit and Carmela, I was like, I got this, you know, despite all the like everything that happened. But I take that with me, and so it's important that everything that you do, like throughout your whole day, it's like when you go home, you like reflect on it. It's like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. So like the next day, yes, you face new challenges, but you already have like, you had a taste of like what hardship, like what hard times can be. So you get just a little bit stronger every day. So I'm truly grateful for of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can reflect back on, I mean, I did this competition in 1995, and at that time I was 21 and a quarter ballet dancer at the Dutch National Ballet. And I think what inspired me to take it on, and it all came from my own inspiration. I saw a flyer on the bulletin board. This was before there was any internet. And did the snail mail exchange and got the information. Was you work so incredibly hard as a young dancer at that point, in every performance, in every ballet act, rehearsal, corps de ballet. And for me, I took it on as a challenge just to kind of own something that I myself could lead and direct. And I'm to this day so proud, right, that I did that, as I'm sure you'll be. Because as we saw in the film, you know, the day could have 48 hours and it still wouldn't be enough. You're working around the clock. And I love how the film so honestly portrays that too, right? In the dance world, the audience sees a performance, but 99% of the work is behind the stage, and it never ends. And then you go home, and then you have your point shoes to sew, or something to pack, or a costume to fix, or just a zillion things. So I love that you put that honesty and that portrayal of the life into this movie. And I'm also, having lived the competition reality, I'm curious how it was to film in that competition environment, because what we don't see here is the reality of there's like 150 other competitors and their coaches and their teams around you, and that bustle and that kind of tension and stress, right? Like everyone gets 15 minutes on stage or 10 minutes in the studio. And how was it? Because the film captures so beautifully what's going on here with the 3 of them and their journey at Helsinki, yet you had all this buzz around you. How did you manage that as a filmmaker to navigate the competition environment?
Well, I think we had permission to be there and film, but we couldn't get anyone else in the shots. And actually, my wonderful DP, Jerome Stolly, is here tonight. And I think he did a fantastic job of just keeping everyone else out of the shot. Yeah, because there was people around in all those studios. They were mostly shared, except for their allotted studio rehearsal time, which was literally 30 minutes. That was it. So all the other rehearsals were in shared studios. So we just navigated it that way. Me personally, I was just focused on these guys. I didn't really pay much attention to anybody else at the time. And also just want to acknowledge that they lived through all of that with a camera right in front of their face. And I think they were really open and honest and really trusting, which I really appreciate. super trusting of me with their story.
How was that to have a camera right at your face when you were dealing with all the pressure and all the nerves?
At first, it was pretty unsettling. I feel like I've never really been on camera, been on stage, but it's completely different. And then it got easier. I kind of just pretended it wasn't there, which is why I think it portrayed such an honest portrayal of our life, because I didn't act, I didn't think about that there was a camera on all the time, or I didn't act any different than how I act normally. And I think you can see that our relationship grew as we got closer, and we were dancing better, and there were hard times, like you saw too, where we couldn't agree on things or anything, and that's all real. And so I think that growth of getting used to the camera was important to the film also.
There were lots of conversations between Carmela and I that were on camera, simply because we had to come to an agreement when it comes to our dancing together. Because we're working it's two people working as one, so sometimes things don't work because a movement doesn't go the way we want it to, or she doesn't feel like it's right, or I feel like it's right, but she's like, no, it's not right. So we had to sit down and come to an agreement, and I think that also helped us because Carmela and I didn't know each other before this, and I was I knew her as a dancer, and I thought she's amazing. But I think throughout the whole process, I just came with a really open mind and just, to have fun.
And we felt comfortable with Lisa and Tiit to be like, no, we want to go have lunch. We don't want to film right now. Thank you. And those
I need a coffee right now.
Yeah, they were important to make us feel more comfortable with the whole process. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. I think we're running out of time here, so we'll be wrapping up. Is there anything any of you want to share or have still say before?
I just see a lot of the kids from the school, so I just, guys, whatever you dream of, just take action and make it reality, because it can happen with hard work and, but always make sure you enjoy it and have fun, always. So, yes.
And I think a nugget for me in the film, too, which rings so true, is that the competition is only ever with ourselves, with oneself. It's not with each other. And for young dancers, too, to support each other, because together we're stronger. And it's the relationship that lasts at the end of this career. And on that note, I'm also curious, because Closer Than Yesterday is such a beautiful, poetic title. And I thought for myself a while, how do I tie this into the film? I do now realize what you're thinking of when you chose that title, but could you share with the audience what the thought is?
Yes. So I think, tied into this whole idea of what is success, or what is it to achieve, a certain outcome, whether it's winning a competition or getting even the role you want, perhaps, in the company, or getting into a company that you would like to be in. We measure ourselves so much on these kind of external standards, and it's quite just a common theme in the world we live in these days, especially with social media just flashing these external measures of success in front of us. So I think success is striving for your goal and just doing that diligently, relentlessly, like these guys. Just, getting closer to where you want to be, because there is no real end goal. You'll get somewhere, there'll be the next place you want to go, or the next level, what is enough. And I think if you're always striving and getting closer to your goal, so closer than yesterday, then that is success.
True. Dance is an open-ended journey.
So I just want to say thank you to Tiit for asking me along on this journey, because it was an amazing journey.
I couldn't have asked for a better filmmaker, I have to say. and what I really appreciated was your sensitivity to their schedule. So we were on their face with the camera a lot of times, but most of the times we had discussions like, is today a good day to go in with the camera? Should we just leave it at home? Like we would make sure that they're mentally well prepared as well. So we weren't shoving the camera in their face all the time.
And then I just want to thank San Francisco Dance Film Festival for hosting this incredible premiere. They've made it a really wonderful event, and we're just so grateful to them for that.
And thank you, Lisa, for making this film. Thank you, Carmela. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Tiit. And thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight to our opening screening of the San Francisco Dance Film Festival 2024, which also is our 15th anniversary festival. So please come back for our live screenings. That'll be in a few weeks in October from now, from October 16 to October 20. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And a really quick thank you to our Bravo volunteers. We cannot do this without you. Thank you, Bravo, and the entire team at Lucasfilm. Thank you so much, Katja. Cast and crew, congratulations. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.